She had barely settled into her first-class seat when the confrontation erupted. The flight attendant glared, accused her of lying, and demanded she move back where she belonged. When Dr. Nadia Carter refused, the attendant snapped and slapped her across the face in front of stunned passengers filming every second. Gasps filled the cabin, followed by silence and shame. What no one on that flight knew was this: the black woman she had just assaulted owned the very aircraft they were flying on, and the company that paid her salary. The first-class cabin glowed with quiet luxury until a single accusation tore it apart. Dr. Nadia Carter had boarded SkyVista Flight 392 bound for London. Calm, self-assured, and traveling alone, she placed her carry-on in the overhead compartment and took her assigned seat, 2A. For years, she had avoided attention, preferring to fly under her initials rather than her full title. But on this flight, anonymity would become the stage for arrogance. As Nadia adjusted her seatbelt, a sharp voice cut through the hum of boarding chatter. "Excuse me, ma'am, what are you doing here?" The lead flight attendant, Brooke Langley, stood in the aisle with arms folded, eyes narrowing in instant judgment. "I'm sitting in my seat," Nadia replied calmly. Brooke tilted her head, her tone turning mock-sweet. "This seat's reserved for premium passengers only. You must have wandered from the back." Passengers nearby looked up. The businessman across the aisle smirked. A young influencer lifted her phone. Nadia handed over her ticket. "Seat 2A, confirmed." Brooke scanned it once, frowned, then let out a sarcastic laugh. "Oh, this is rich. You actually printed a fake first-class ticket? Who sold you this scam?" Murmurs spread. Someone whispered, "She's gonna get arrested." Nadia kept her voice steady. "Check your manifest." Brooke turned to her junior attendant, Sophie, and muttered loud enough for half the cabin to hear. "She's trying to bluff her way up here again." "Happens all the time." Then Brooke leaned closer. "I'll give you one chance to tell the truth before I call security." "I already did," Nadia said. "Now I suggest you verify my name." Brooke's patience snapped. "Don't tell me how to do my job." The cabin went still. Brooke yanked the ticket out of Nadia's hand, crumpled it, and pointed toward the rear. "Get up now!" Nadia didn't move. "I paid for this seat." Brooke's lip curled. "You people always say that." Gasps rippled through the cabin. Then, in a flash of rage and misplaced authority, Brooke slapped her, hard enough to echo off the walls. The sound froze everyone. Sophie covered her mouth. A businessman muttered, "She didn't just do that." But she had. Brooke stood there shaking, realizing what she'd done, yet doubling down instead of apologizing. "I'll have you escorted off this plane before you embarrass yourself further." Nadia's cheek burned, but her composure didn't break. She reached for her phone, pressed a single contact, and said softly, "Initiate Protocol 9, Brooke sneered. "You calling the police? Go ahead." "You'll need them." The calm voice on the other end of Nadia's phone replied, "Confirmed, Dr. Carter. Activation sequence in progress." She hung up. "Done." At that exact moment, Sophie's handheld device beeped, then another, then another. The cabin's internal system froze. A message appeared on every crew screen. "Executive override, Dr. Nadia Carter, founder and chair, Carter Aviation Group." Brooke blinked, confused. What is that?" The captain's voice came through the intercom. "Crew, this is Captain Ross. Is Dr. Carter on board?" Nadia spoke evenly. "Yes, Captain." "I'm in seat 2A. Silence. Then the captain's tone shifted instantly to respect. "Dr. Carter, my deepest apologies. I was unaware you'd be traveling today." The cabin erupted. Passengers whispered, "Wait, she owns the company? That's the Carter Group? The one that builds these planes?" Brooke stepped back, her face draining of color. You're with corporate?" Nadia turned toward her slowly. "I am corporate. This aircraft, and every SkyVista jet like it, is leased from my company. You just assaulted your employer's founder." Brooke's jaw trembled. I didn't know. You didn't care," Nadia interrupted. "You assumed." The captain appeared from the cockpit moments later, his expression stern. "Dr. Carter, I've contacted headquarters. HR and legal are already online." Passengers stared in stunned silence. Phones recorded every second. Nadia looked around the cabin, her calm now heavier than anger. "For years, my company has supplied these planes to airlines that promise professionalism and respect. What I just experienced is the opposite. This is systemic, and it ends today." She turned to Sophie. "How long have you been working here?" 4 years, ma'am. Did you try to stop her?" I froze. "But I knew it was wrong." Nadia nodded. "Good, remember that honesty. It's rare in this industry." Brooke stepped forward, desperate. "Please, Dr. Carter." Nadia cut her off. "Sit down." "You're finished," the captain signaled to security. Brooke was quietly escorted off the plane, her badge confiscated. The entire cabin watched. No laughter now, only shame. Nadia remained seated, speaking clearly so every passenger could hear. "This flight will continue. No one else will be punished for another person's prejudice. But you all witnessed what happens when arrogance meets accountability." Sophie whispered, "Dr. Carter, may I get you some water?" Nadia smiled faintly. "Thank you. And please, call me Nadia." The young attendant nodded, trembling, realizing she'd just witnessed history. Hours later, when the plane landed, news had already spread. Every major outlet carried the story. "Flight attendant slaps airline owner, gets fired mid-flight." A week later, SkyVista Air announced new mandatory equity training, zero-tolerance conduct policies, and a formal partnership with Carter Aviation to reform leadership culture. And when reporters asked Dr. Carter for comment, she simply said, "Respect should never depend on recognition. You don't have to know who someone is to treat them with dignity." That quote became a global headline, printed on posters, quoted in documentaries, and etched into corporate policies around the world. She never raised her voice. She never sought revenge. She simply used her power, and the world listened. If you believe dignity should never depend on status, stand up for it. Like this video, share it everywhere, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from and which moment hit you hardest. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more stories where arrogance collapses and justice rises.